Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of Bollywood.com. Today is a very special evening for me, and it's special more so because of the intent with which Bollywood was constructed, devised, and presented.
And we should, we used to go there, and yeah, that's been Bollywood, and we just want to leave with this one hope, and we truly hope that you all will take this purpose to the world, the purpose of responsible internet. We truly want every single child in this country to tell his or her mom, which is, don't worry mom, I'm on Bollywood.com.
Yeah.
Any questions?
If the media wishes to ask any questions with regard to the site, we'll be very happy to answer.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Sir, so this is a website for kids. Has Aradhya seen it? Have you shown it to her?
No, she is below the age of 5. This site is, I think, we decided to go from 5 to 9 years, that age group. And I think some of the research that we did, and I'm sure that Monish will be able to stand by that. Maybe you could like to share some of the statistics that you got with regard to the age group and why we wanted this particular age group, and what are the kind of numbers that we are looking at. There is a philosophy behind that, and I'll just ask Monish if you can just.
Sure. So there are 125 million kids between the age group of 5 to 9. There are 140 million kids who are below 5 years. So the ones who are below 5 years are yet into, so they are yet into the app kind of a user behavior. They are yet not into the zone of creating or accessing an internet site of this stature. So the first time that internet is introduced to the child is in a school where the child is told to learn Google, which is type, right? With one finger he or she will say T-I-G-E-R, and that's where the trouble starts, right? The trouble starts because as soon as you type tiger and press search, while you see the lovely animal, there are also many other things that you see, which is where there are, when somebody's name is tiger. So so on and so forth. So through our research we believe that a fun learning site like this would start from the age of 5. Internet access, when we say internet penetration, we talk about computer and laptops. We don't talk about, we're not talking about mobile apps, right? That's digital. So when we talk about internet, the research says that most home PCs and laptops are bought as soon as the child has to take school projects. And school projects start happening at the age of 5.5, 6. So that's the answer.
And to be more specific, ma'am, Aradhya started using an iPad at the age of 1.5. So you can imagine where this generation is going. She would search for her own cartoons and her own games all by herself.
So what made you endorse this website? What was the thought that came to your mind and you decided, that this is the children's website, so I should...
Let me ask this question to you. In this almost half an hour discourse that Monish did, I think most of you must have realized how intense the purpose of this wonderful site is. And anybody listening to it will obviously get very enamored by it. To me, it seemed that we keep hearing things, we keep reading things about how to bring up our children, what we need to do with them, and there are various, formalities that are available to parents today. But if something can be all combined under one roof, at the press of a button, how wonderful it would be. And that's what really attracted me to it. And the fact that you know, this is a very cliched statement that the youth is the future of the nation and so on and so forth, but it really is. And I think that if we begin at a very young age to inculcate in them certain basic principles of life, how to look after yourself, how to look after your room, how to look after your parents, cleanliness, just basic civic facilities, and at the same time be gaining knowledge. I think the generation that will come next will be hopefully better educated and be able to understand the ethos of a nation. That's what attracted me to it.
While working on World.do, were you reminded of your own childhood, and what were some of the games that
yes, absolutely.
You played growing up?
My childhood was, you know, almost 70 years ago. That's a hell of a long time. And there was no computers, there was nothing of this kind at all. Our biggest attraction at that time was marbles. You know, you play marbles in school, you play gulli danda, and then when you mature you get your own bicycle. Those were some of the things that were, you know, the most exciting for us, to go out and play with friends. But whatever knowledge that was given to us was either from school or from stories that we heard from our parents or from our elders, and that's the kind of knowledge we picked up. We never had this, so this is a huge revelation, and in a sense a revolution, I would say. I'm at the moment as a mentor, I just love the idea of something like this, and when Monish came to me, I readily agreed, you know, to be a part of it. We'll work out the modalities of how I'm going to be participating in this in the years to come. But for the moment, let's just say that I really enjoyed mentoring, in a sense, what Monish has been bringing forward. It's something that I'm sure any of you who have children, who are parents, would love to get involved in. And one of the most beautiful things that I liked about this was the fact that this was an interactive, a coordinated effort. It's not just something that I wish to put out. It's taking in inputs from mothers, from parents, from teachers, going to schools, asking them questions, and then putting it all together into one package. And that really was very attractive to me. So I'm sure as we go along, we do hope that if you do have any suggestions, if you feel that there are things that can be incorporated in this, we would very warmly welcome it.
Log into and subscribe to,
yes,
like we would for a Facebook or a Twitter and have profiles.
No, sorry, you would log in through Facebook or Twitter?
No, okay, not log in through, but the way we do for Facebook and Twitter. What safeguards do you have for, you know, so you make sure that there are only kids logging into this and not adults posing as kids?
Correct. So good question. So the first is, you know, you need a parent's email ID.
We have one subscriber.
We've got, I think so. I was just, I actually looked at it and maybe we have one. So, you know, the first thing is you cannot activate the account without confirmation from a parent, first. Second is, like we said, we have devised an entire backend in terms of technology, where we do understand what is being spoken of and how the behavior of each user is, right? So that's what is going to help us do that. The sensitive place is actually the chat, right? The sensitive place is not something else. The sensitive place is actually the chat. So let's say, for example, if both of us are users, right? And suppose if you ask me, so where do you stay? Your message will never come. Or I write something which says 98210, message will never come, right? What's your mama's name? Message will never come, right? So that's the safety.
These are just sensitive things that, you know, sometimes we want to prevent. You would also do that. I mean, you would not want to give your mobile number out. You would not want to give details about your family. Well, you know, with all due respects, we are living in a world which is getting more and more critical and more sensitive to these issues. And how wonderful if we can inculcate that in a child at that age group, so that by the time they grow up, they're already aware of what's going on.
सर, आज की तारीख में इस किस्म के साइट्स, मतलब सोशल साइट्स के एक्सपोजर से हम किसी को बचा नहीं सकते हैं, और तो मतलब इस किस्म के साइट से बचपन कितना जल्दी खत्म होने की गुंजाइश रहेगी? वो अपना चाइल्डहुड मतलब जो है वो हो सकते हैं, उसके आसार रह सकते हैं?
पहले तो ये बताना पड़ेगा कि आप बचपन को क्या समझते हैं और खोने लायक क्या है। बचपन में क्या खोया जाता है?
10 साल पहले जैसे लोग 6 साल की उम्र में या 7 साल की उम्र में
जी
स्कूल जाना शुरू करते थे।
स्कूल जाते थे?
हाँ, स्कूल जाना शुरू करते थे, वहाँ से बचपन शुरू होता था उनका, कहा जाता था। अब वो एज मतलब कम होकर 3 साल हो गया है, 2 साल हो गया है, और मतलब वो इन चीज़ों के एक्सपोजर के चलते हैं बहुत जल्दी बड़े होने लगते हैं, बड़े की तरह बिहेव करने लगते हैं।
जी जी, ये तो हर पीढ़ी जो है वो इतनी जागृत हो रही है कि इसको रोकना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा। मैंने आपको अभी उदाहरण दिया कि मेरी अपनी जो पोती है वो 1.5 साल की उम्र से अपना आईपैड चला रही है। इसको हम नहीं रोक सकेंगे, ये अपने आप उनके अंदर कुछ है, जेनेटिकली कुछ है, पता नहीं क्या है, या हो सकता है जो कुछ वो देख रहे हैं आसपास उसकी वजह से वो प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। स्कूल तो सभी जाएंगे, ये है स्कूल के अलावा भी यदि आप घर पे बैठे हों और अगर आपको कुछ जिज्ञासा या कोई आपको जानकारी चाहिए, 10-15 मिनट 20 मिनट अगर आपने बिता दिए तो उसमें अगर आपको थोड़ी बहुत जानकारी मिल रही है तो उसमें क्या खराबी है। दूसरी बात जो कि पहले मोनिश ने अभी बताई कि बहुत से जो लोग बच्चे हैं वो गलत साइट्स पे जाते हैं और उसका जो परिणाम होता है वो हम सब जानते हैं। एक तरह से ये एक ऐसी जगह बन जाती है जहाँ पर वहाँ पर जाने से उनको एक रोका जा सकता है। रोका तो किसी को भी नहीं जा सकता, लेकिन अगर हमारे पास एक ऐसा यंत्र हो जहाँ पर हम अपने जो उनके माता पिता हैं उनको कह सकें कि आप अपने बच्चों को यहाँ लगाइए, तो इसको इतना इंटरेस्टिंग बनाना, इतना आकर्षक बनाना ताकि वो किसी और गलत जगह ना जाए।
का एक्सपोजर किसके तरफ था ज़्यादातर, मतलब स्कूल डेज में?
स्कूल डेज में जैसे कि मैंने कहा,
खेल के अलावा और मतलब किन टीचर्स से आप ज़्यादा करते थे और इनसे ज़्यादा प्यार करते थे?
अब जो पढ़ाई लिखाई होती थी वो तो होती थी। मैं तो ज़्यादातर बोर्डिंग में था, तो जो खेल से संबंधित लोग होते थे उन्हीं से ज़्यादा स्नेह होता था, या फिर क्योंकि मैं स्टेज वगैरह पे जा कर के ड्रामा वामा में थोड़ी सी दिलचस्पी दिखाता था तो उन लोगों से ज़्यादा लगाव होता था।
सर,
बट दैट इज़ वन थिंग, यू नो, वी शुड हैव a dramatic club in this, where we can build future actors and actresses.
Yeah, we can actually have videos on how do you act in a drama, how do you act in a school play.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can give them tips on dialogue delivery.
Yeah, that can be something. Yes.
Because they love doing school plays.
Monish in his presentation said that you gave a few ideas and in fact you reject some of the ideas for this website. So can you elaborate that which idea?
I've forgotten what I suggested and I've forgotten what I rejected.
That's correct, sir. To answer this question, we used to, like I said also, that every 15-20 days we used to figure out a way to meet him, because I think we must have
anything that is sensitive, to society, and which we felt that maybe we don't want to take the kid to this destination. We used to discuss and spend time over it and say, okay, let's keep this aside and let's think of something that is more positive for the site, rather than even a vague suggestion of something that could be wrong.
And Monish, tell me, is this going to be a paid website or it's a free? How will it be?
As we launch, since we launch from now, we are going to be a free website, but it is eventually going to subscription, which is 2,400 rupees a year, and we will acquire critical mass and then look at subscription. So if all goes well, I think in few months we should be able to go into subscription.
That's 200 rupees a month.
200 rupees a month, correct. So we should be. We don't have a time frame, because the time frame could be next week or it could be after 1 month. But the number that we have is the day we have 200,000 users, we will go into subscription.
You feel the kids should also be exposed to movies through this website at an early age, because obviously you're the face of the...
Yeah, I think that this is something that we haven't really thought about and debated, because there are many other larger government institutions that are taking care of that, in particular the Children's Film Society, NFDC, and maybe would leave that responsibility to them. I think we're already quite congested in this site with so many other things happening that perhaps movies, but you know, maybe we can think about it at a later stage.
Surely. The other reason why why movies would be a little difficult, though it's a great idea. If you just look at, there is a TV here. It looks like a TV. It's called the Do Television. The other thing is bandwidth issues. Look at a tier 2 town. Look at a Nagpur, Rajkot. I mean, Rajkot is a big city, but there are bandwidth issues. So bandwidth issues of 3 hours of movie streaming. So we right now, though we had a little spark and thought about it once. We says, can we actually have good movies like the Children Film Society of India? If you could go to them and have nice films, but we'll have to figure out a way to make it smaller, half an hour. We can do movies, but special movies, special content only for World. So we can do it that way.
अमित जी, काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हैं इस वेबसाइट पर, पोर्टल पर. आपको कौन से गेम में या कहाँ पर वक्त बिताने में अच्छा लगेगा, क्योंकि आप पहले सब्सक्राइबर हैं इसके?
मैडम, मैं तो 5 और 9 के वर्ष के बीच में हूँ नहीं, तो ये तो उन्हीं के लिए है, वो बताएंगे.
आपको कौन सा गेम या कौन सी चीज़ आपको बहुत अच्छी लगी?
मैंने अभी जो जितना कुछ देखा है, उतना जितना कुछ इन्होंने इसमें डिज़ाइन किया हुआ है, उन सभी गेम्स में दिलचस्पी, जैसा कि इन्होंने बताया कि हम जानबूझकर ये नहीं रखना चाहते थे कि उसमें कोई वायलेंस हो, ब्लड हो या इस तरह की चीज़ें हों, उनसे दूर रखा गया है. तो साधारण से गेम्स होंगे, और मैं ज़्यादातर मोबाइल पे या लैपटॉप पे गेम्स खेलता नहीं हूँ, और बहुत से गेम्स खेलता हूँ, उसके बारे में आपको पता है.
बच्चों में काफ़ी पॉपुलर है. भूतनाथ फिल्म आई थी और लोगों ने बहुत पसंद किया था. तो इस पूरे में चूंकि आपके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, आप कैसे उन्हें जोड़ना चाहेंगे, और बच्चे कैसे, क्या उनसे इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या कुछ कैसे वो शामिल होंगे इसमें? तो
फिलहाल तो like I said, sorry, my Hindi is not as powerful as hers, but I'll try. So फिलहाल तो like I said, there were, we wanted to go to sir as a mentor. So we used to go to him every time we needed it. As we move along, we want to create a place where we can bring in some kind of content where sir could actually be a part of that content. It could be just narrating storybooks.
Yeah.
It could be narrating lovely stories on, like I said, there is something called Good Life. If that whole Good Life can be on sound and not only on click, that's how we would love to, get sir inside World as content.
One of the institutions that is working along with us is CA Media, whose representatives are here. Samir is here, and they look after the technical side of my Twitter and blog and my Facebook accounts. And we have an understanding for the future where we can have audiobooks, recitation of stories, children's stories, adult stories, books, more personally, I would say recitation of my father's works, and we have that in the pipeline. But just if there is some kind of a connection that can be done with these two, we could always think about transferring whatever we have on CA Media onto worldview.com.
Basically, parents are quite concerned these days that, because of the excess use of internet and digital medium, kids are restricted indoors,
Yep.
They do not get to do a lot more outdoor activities like we used to do in our, during our childhood. So how do you like to address that kind of a concern?
I think one of the points that in the preview that was given was that there's a time limit on the Worldview site. At the bottom of the,
that's correct. So
there was written 14 minutes. The parent can actually block the amount of time that child can be on that site. And depending on that, after say 14 minutes, which is an average amount of time, the site blocks. And we can actually come out with little windows which say, time to go and play, or time to go and sleep, which is what he described, or time to eat your food, stuff like that. Also, I think that in one of the sites that they go to, you did talk about how if you won a certain number of points, you could make a team and then, have a rival team and go out and play football.
Right.
So if you are champs in that champs corner, through your investments and through your likes and dislikes on the site, you form a group of champs. So you form your own group of champs and somebody else forms another group of champs. And through their discourse through the site, they can say, hey, let's have a cricket match or let's go and play a football game. Things like that, which can be encouraged.
Sir, have you shown this website to Abhishek and Aishwarya, considering, modern day parents, and have they given any sort of suggestions for this?
Yeah, they have seen it, and a lot of this has been shared to them. They've liked it. We haven't had any suggestions yet. I think that's probably because we've actually taken care of everything. But as I said, this is not something absolutely definite. Somebody like you or any other parent that is going to be visiting the site, and if they feel that they need to incorporate something or that we need to change something, correct ourselves, we would be very willing to do that. Because that's the whole idea of cooperation. We want inputs from everybody. If we wanted, we could have done something on our own and said, this is it, and laid down guidelines which would have been very personal, very individual, but we didn't do that. And you saw the numbers of
feedbacks.
Yeah, the feedbacks that we had. It was only after those feedbacks came to us that we combined everything together, collaborated with them, and then thought out for something. So, and that's open for all the time. Anytime any parent, any teacher, anybody from the media wishes to give some inputs, we welcome that, absolutely.
So you also mentioned in the beginning that, when Aradhya was 1.5 years old, she started using iPad and used to play games. Are there any things that you have learned from her? As in, kids, in an innocent way do make us learn certain things. We do learn from them. Are there any things that you have learned from her?
Yeah. Right now, she has learned to talk non-stop. Something that I need to learn. Because the media thinks I don't talk at all.
What's the story behind your colorful watch, and is that your inner child?
Yeah, I just thought that it would match the green that you see on the side. No, it's just something that, it's just a very ordinary plastic watch, nothing very exceptional.
Thank you. Just before we leave, the team that's really worked on this 2.5 years, they've really stuck to the belief, they've stuck to the ethos, they've stuck to all the tantrums that we've thrown. Would like to invite the team, Mihir, Tushar, Pradnya,
a big hand for all these.
Sam.
These have been the brains behind this wonderful concept. They've all worked tirelessly in putting this thing together.
And all the other little ones, could you please come on stage, the entire World team. So one small confession, every time I used to meet you, I used to get two new people to take photographs, but so anyway.
No, but come closer so we can have a group photograph. All these people have worked really hard towards this side, and I think we need to give them a good round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
From all of philosophy, their thinking, their technology, their everything, just wonderful.
From all of us, we truly hope and pray that you all will take this purpose to the world and make every kid tell their mom, don't worry mom, I'm on
worlddo.com. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. I'll carry on.